Hi, welcome to SBR Sports Picks. He's Mike Brenner. I'm Peter Loshak. We are the Odds Couple. You come to sportsbookreview.com. Hashtag AskSBR. This is the NBA Odds Couple show for Tuesday, April 18th. Mike Brenner. The NBA playoffs are just always fun to watch and to break down and analyze from a handicapping perspective, even if your personal results are not necessarily what you would like them to be.
No doubt.
Which is the case with me. You did the great call on Cleveland yesterday. You had them on tough game on that one. You had them on the first half, and they did cover. They didn't cover the full game, though.
Nope.
So smart move for you to not take them on the full game.
Yeah, and it felt good. And again, I listened to what you say about the discipline. But before we get too far ahead of ourselves, I want to do some shout-outs, Pistol Pete. We got a birthday shout-out for @CrazyHusker, who's one of our Twitter followers. And on the videos itself, the commenters, Vig Simon, shout-out to you. I love this guy's his insight. And right or wrong, I own it when I lose. So, I respect what he says. Gus Angel, Frank Swerve, Ziggy Balls, these guys are all great. Miami Connection, of course, Guan White, Dan Kellerman. Had to give the shout-out. Appreciate you guys.
Really appreciate that. All right. Yeah. So, Mike Brenner, we got 3 interesting games. And another thing that's interesting yesterday is that these line movements, like Cleveland didn't cover. They opened at 7.5, closed at 9.
Yes.
And, and then also the total, again, when we were talking about it, we were like, it just seems low. It went way over. Yeah, and it closed at like 208.5 in some places. So it's just,
it's a wacky time of year, Pistol Pete.
All right, so we got 3 interesting games. I guess let's start with Milwaukee, Toronto. And basically what I said about Milwaukee, I think is right. The Greek Freak is just in a zone. He's playing pressure-free. The whole team is playing pressure-free. You get the sense that even if they got swept, they'd be fine with it. They're just coming in here with no expectations, just trying to upset as much as they can, and they're playing great.
And they are, and they're relaxed. Greg Monroe has had a really good series thus far. I mean, I know it's only one game, but he jumped in like he used to play in Detroit. That made a big difference. It takes a lot of the pressure off of the Greek Freak. But I look for this team to keep the momentum going. But, Pete, this is one I'm going to lay off of tonight.
You think so?
I'm just staying the hell off it.
Yeah, because Toronto is tricky because, of course, Toronto has a history of not doing that well in playoffs, especially Kyle Lowry, right?
Yes.
Last year, they lost their first game in the series. Then they were an 8-point favorite in the next game. They did come back and win by 11, so they barely covered.
Yes.
But 2 years ago, they lost their first game to Washington, came back in the second game, lost again. Game. So this could go either way.
And I think it could, but I don't know if Milwaukee has enough veteran presence to keep everybody from taking a breath, saying, okay, now we got home court advantage. And they might just take a breath. And if so, Toronto's got to be in desperation mode. But Lowry, I wonder if he's going to force it tonight, Pete, and have another terrible shooting night, or if the kid's going to really, concentrate on just, being the floor general and just distributing the ball. So I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if they cover it, but there were 2 occasions this year when Toronto blew Milwaukee out with at full strength. So I don't know. I'm going to sit back and I'm going to wait.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you what I think, and what I think is more likely than not wrong. But Milwaukee, I'm thinking that is Toronto, could they win by 8 or more? Yes, but are they a 50% shot to do that? I don't think so. I think, are they going to be able to play a full game where they extend a lead like that? At some point, Milwaukee's going to come back.
You would think. And Milwaukee started fast last game. I think they're going to come out with the same type of game plan because now they've got that momentum. So it's all up to Jason Kidd. He is a good coach. He's probably going to let these guys know you need to play this game like it's the first game or the last game of the series. He doesn't want them taking a break. I know. I want to pull the trigger on the dog so freaking bad, Pistol Pete.
I'll tell you what I will do. I did bet the team total over. I'll take the Pinnacle line now. It's over 92.5 minus 114. Toronto does tend to play some low-scoring games in the playoffs, though. But, maybe even if this one is low-scoring, Milwaukee, it'll sneak over. So I'll take the team total over in that one.
Okay, pull that trigger,
and you're just going to pass on it.
I'm passing on that game. Something just told me to just pass.
All right. So. And then we've got Chicago and Boston. And I don't know, man. I'm not sure if Boston really has it. I mean, Isaiah Thomas, there's been a lot of talk about how Boston is a team that's well-suited to do well in the regular season, but not in the playoffs. We saw the same thing with the Atlanta Hawks. You remember when they were a great team in the regular season, covered for like 50 games in a row, had a great ATS record, but then in the playoffs they faltered.
Yep, they
and people are saying the same thing about Boston.
They are, and I really think that Boston's not the true number 1 seed. It just lets you know how weak the East is this year, Pistol Pete. But Chicago, they've got a lot of momentum right now, and D. Wade, even though he didn't score a bunch of points, his presence and his leadership, means it speaks volumes. And Jimmy Butler said they played one of the most solid games that they've played. They should have been doing it earlier, but at least now they're finding their groove. What I think is going to happen tonight, though, and I'm going to pull the trigger on 2 spots. I'm going to go first quarter Boston. It was available -2 at Just Bet.
Okay, first quarter Boston.
It was. It might have moved up now to 2.5.
Yeah, I'm not seeing that. I'm seeing 2.5.
It was just about an hour ago.
I see an opening line of -2, but now I'm just seeing 2.5.
Okay.
We can't give you stale lines, Mike Brenner.
No,
if you want it,
doubt.
you have to take 2.5 minus 110.
And you know what? I'm going to take the 2.5, and I'm also going to parlay that. I'm not parlay that, but I'm going to take the first half as well. I think Isaiah Thomas has had enough time to really process what happened in his personal life, and I think tonight he comes out early. He did last game, but I think he's going to come out more focused this time, and I think this team knows their back's against the wall. Al Horford's got to show up, and they've got to do something to slow down this mirror tech, because if that guy gets hot, it could be a long night. And they got beat down on the boards. I mean, they got beat down on the boards. So I like the momentum they did by 51-36 or something.
And then you think that's a good thing?
Well, I do. I think early and often that Brad Stevens is going to let them know you're going to get inside, you're going to own the boards, and I think Isaiah Thomas is going to be a little more free, and I think in his mind he's going to be a little more free. So what's the best shot line in that first half?
All right, Pinnacle -4, -109.
Yeah, I know you're kind of doubting it, but you know what? I like it. I like Boston to get this win tonight. I don't know about full game, but I think the emotion early and also the urgency, all right? They just got beat on their home floor as a #1 seed to the #8.
Yeah.
All right, this isn't going to be an easy game, but Chicago, I think, also might take a breath and go, okay, now we got home court advantage, and we own these guys on our home court.
I mean, Jimmy Butler, obviously the best player on the court, and they got out-rebounded by 20 in the last game.
I know.
But we have seen in the playoffs, we know you see one game in the series, it seems like it's like, how can they possibly bounce back?
And adjustments get made. Exactly. So I think
you might be right there, Mike Brenner.
Yeah,
all right.
pulling the trigger on
and now
those
let's get back to the next game, the most debated game, I think, of the day, Utah and the Clippers. Obviously, Utah coming off the big win, but now, no Rudy Gobert and a big bounce-back spot for the Clippers. I mean, that's an irreplaceable loss, Rudy Gobert, right?
It is, and I think they played on emotion and momentum after he left the game with 12 or 17 seconds into the game, and I think they really kind of overachieved. I think it now sinks in, and I think the Clippers look at what they need to do, because obviously their whole game plan has changed from what they prepared for in game one. They're pissed off. The Jazz are 2-5 ATS against the Clippers their last 7 meetings. I think this is a must-win almost for the Clippers, but they got to contain Joe Johnson. They got to contain him. He got loose last game. I don't think he has enough in him, though, to do that continuously, consecutively, game to game. So I'm pulling the trigger, Pistol Pete, on the Clippers on the first half.
All right.
They got to come out early in the first half.
It's a must-win, but it's a huge line. I mean, the Clippers, all right, 5. Yep, 5 -115.
I'm very comfortable with it, Pete. I think that you're going to see a whole different tempo, a whole different, just a whole different game plan. And without Gobert, all right, they're going to struggle. The bench is going to struggle. You may see some guys getting into foul trouble.
I'll just tell you my thoughts. And again, my thoughts tend to be more incorrect more often than correct. But
I respect them.
It seems like Utah reminds me of like a poor man's Spurs. They're strong defensively, a well-oiled machine. They can weather injuries, and the Clippers just don't seem to not play their best basketball in the playoffs. And now you're giving the Jazz a lot of freaking points. Even for the first half, you're giving them 5 points.
You are, but you also lost 14 boards a game and 24 points a game, Pete, with Gobert out. Now, they made the adjustment in game one. I think that the Clippers didn't make the adjustment because no one saw that happen and no one saw that coming. Now they've had time to prepare for it. DeAndre Jordan gets to change everything he's doing. Look for him to have a huge game. I love this play.
All right.
First half, baby. Love it. Pulling that trigger.
So you're taking. So review your plays, Mike Brenner.
Okay, here we go. Yeah, first quarter, Boston -2.5. First half, Boston -4 against the wishes of Pistol Pete. And also, I'm taking the Clippers first half -5. 3 plays to get back on track. I got one out last night, so almost at 500. But the playoffs, we're going to get on a roll.
And I'm taking the Milwaukee Heat total over. And you know what else I'm going to throw on, Mike?
Throw it on there,
I'm going to throw on the Bulls +7.5 -115 on the full game.
Okay, I can't talk you off that ledge, no doubt about it. But
feels to me a little bit like the Cleveland-Indiana game. I kind of liked Indiana on the full game. I just felt like Cleveland is just not good enough to justify that big of a line in the playoffs on a full game.
And 2 games in a row, they have not at all even. They weren't even close to covering that spread last night, as far as the full game. So
all right, so
I'm feeling good about it.
That sounds good. All right, well, we sure discussed the hell out of these games. Hopefully, we'll come out on top with our plays tonight, and we're going to be back later on this afternoon taking a look at the Wednesday games, right?
Yes, we are, because Pistol Pete will be in transit tomorrow, heading out. So we're going to film this afternoon for tomorrow's NBA. Don't miss it. And then on Thursday, we're going to be doing the show live via satellite with Pistol Pete. Hey, guys, we're the odds couple. We're coming to you. But do us a favor. Hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button as well, because SBR, it's a sharp tool, and it's absolutely free.
Well, this episode of The Odds Couple is over. But if you give us a like and click SBR's logo at the bottom of the screen to subscribe, then you'll get all the upcoming videos as soon as they come out. And don't forget to take advantage of our website. There's free picks, live betting lines, and sportsbook reviews and ratings guides, and a whole lot more. Check it out now.